Welcome to IAS Academy. Prior to the 2023 preliminary exam, we will cover 15 questions daily in a video. I have already uploaded 40 test series last year. So, let's start our session. Our first question is, with reference to history of India, Ulgulan or the Great Tumult is the description of which of the following events? Options are the Revolt of 1857, the Mapilla Rebellion of 1921, Indigo Revolt of 1859, Birsa Munda's Revolt of 1899. Here answer to this question is option D, Birsa Munda's Revolt of 1899. Also known as Dharti Aba, Birsa Munda is known to have mobilized the tribal community against the British and had also forced the colonial officials to introduce laws protecting the land rights of the tribals. Munda Rebellion is one of the most important tribal movements. It was led by Birsa Munda in the South Ranchi in 1899 to 1900. The Ulgulan or the Great Tumult, as the movement came to be called, aimed at establishing Munda Raj by driving out the British. The land policies of the British were destroying their traditional land system. Hindu landlords and moneylanders were taking over their land. Missionaries were criticizing their traditional culture. These were the causes of this Munda rebellion. So the answer to this question is option D. Question number 2. With reference to the history of India, consider the following pairs. Orang in charge of treasury of the state. That is incorrect. Banian, Indian agent of the East India Company. That is correct. Mirasidar, designated revenue payer to the state. That is correct. Which of the pairs given above is or are correctly matched? Here answer to this question is option B. 2 and 3 are correct. Orang was a Persian term referred to as a warehouse. Hence pair 1 is not correct. The term Banian means merchant. Banian was engaged by an individual Western merchant or a firm to work for them as a broker, interpreter and an agent. Hence pair 2 is correct. Under the Eurothwari settlement system, the government recognized Mirasidars as the sole proprietors of land. They acted as a designated revenue payer to the state. Hence pair 3 is correct. So here answer to this question is option B. 2 and 3 are correct. Question number 3. Which of the following statements correctly explains the impact of Industrial Revolution on India during the first half of the 19th century? Options are Indian handicrafts were ruined. That is correct. Machines were introduced in the Indian textiles industry in large numbers. That is incorrect. Railway lines were laid in many parts of the country. That is incorrect. Heavy duties were imposed on the imports of British manufacturers. That is incorrect. So here answer to this question is option A. Indian handicrafts were ruined. The Industrial Revolution in England affected India in many ways. Indian textiles had to face stiff competition from English textiles in the European market. Heavy duties were imposed on imported Indian textiles in Britain. Britain started producing machine-made goods and textiles that were much cheaper than Indian goods. They were also often better in quality. Indian handicrafts slowly died because they could not compete against the cheaper products from Britain that they were flooding in the Indian markets. Hence option 1 is correct. So your answer to this question is option A. Question number 4. With reference to the current trends in the cultivation of sugarcane in India, consider the following statements. Statement number 1. A substantial saving in seed material is made when bud chip settings are raised in a nurse and transplanted in the main field. That is correct. So when we look at the options, either A or C is correct. So, fourth statement, sugarcane can be cultivated using seedlings prepared from tissue culture is right. So, her answer to this question must be option C. 1 and 4 are correct. Tissue culture is a technique in which fragments of plants are cultured and grown in a laboratory. It also preserves genetic identity. Hence, option 4 is correct. As a viable alternative of tissue culture, bud chip technology reduces the mass and enables quick multiplication of seeds. This method has proved to be more economical and convenient than the traditional method of planting 2 and 3 bud sets. The returns are relatively better with substantial savings on the seed material used for planting. Hence statement 1 is correct. So your answer to this question is option C. Statement 1 and 4 are correct. Question number 5. Steel slag can be the material for which of the following? Options are construction of base road, improvement of agricultural soil, production of cement. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Here answer to this question is option D. Statement 1, 2 and 3 are correct. Manufacture and quality management of iron and steel slag products are carried out for a broad range of applications. These products have cleared environmental standards and the majority of them are now provided to the market as designated procurement items under the Green Purchasing Law. As a result, Iron and steel slag products are fulfilling important functions as construction materials for roads, ports, airports, and other infrastructure. So, statement 1 is correct. Steel slag has the ability to correct soil acidity because blast furnace slag includes fertilizer components of calcium oxide, silicon dioxide, and magnesium oxide, and it is used in rice cultivation as a calcium silicate fertilizer. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Approximately 60% of blast furnace slag is used as raw material for cement. Hence, statement 3 is correct. So, your answer to this question is option D. Statement 1, 2, and 3 are correct. Question number 6. If a particular plant species is placed under Schedule 6 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, what is the implication? Options are: a license is required to cultivate that plant. That is correct. Such a plant cannot be cultivated under any circumstances. That is incorrect. It's a genetically modified crop plant. That is incorrect. Such a plant is invasive and harmful to the ecosystem. That is incorrect. So, her answer to this question is option A. A license is required to cultivate that plant. Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 was enacted for the protection of plants and animal species. Schedule 6 provides for regulation in cultivation of a specified plants and restricts its possession, sale, and transportation. Both the cultivation and trade of specified plants can only be carried out with prior permission of competent authority. So, her answer to this question is option A. A license is required to cultivate that plant. Question number 7. Which one of the following statements best describes the term social cost of carbon? It's a measure in monetary value of the options are long-term damage done by ton of CO2 emission in a given year. That is correct. Requirement of fossil fuels for a country to provide goods and services to citizens based on the burning of those fuels. Incorrect. Efforts put in by climate refugee to adapt to live in a new place. That is incorrect. Contribution of an individual person to the carbon footprint on the planet Earth. That is incorrect. So, her answer to this question is option A. Long-term damage done by a ton of CO2 emissions in a given year. The social cost of carbon is an estimate in monetary value of the economic damage that would result from emitting one additional ton of CO2 into the atmosphere. This value can be then used to weigh the benefits of reduced warming against the cost of cutting emissions. So, her answer to this question is option A. Question number 8. With reference to Indian elephants, consider the following statements. The leader of an elephant group is female. That is correct. The maximum gestation period can be 22 months. That is correct. An elephant can normally go on calving till the age of 40 years only. That is incorrect. Among the states in India, the highest elephant population is in Kerala. That is incorrect. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Here, answer to this question is option A. Statement 1 and 2 are correct. The elephant herd is led by the oldest and largest female member known as the matriarch. Hence, statement 1 is true. Elephants have the longest non-gestational, that is pregnancy period of all mammals, lasting up to 680 days, that is 22 months. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The average life expectancy of an elephant is 60 to 70 years. Hence, statement 3 is incorrect. As per elephant census of 2017, Karnataka has the highest number of elephants, followed by Assam and Kerala. Hence, statement 4 is incorrect. So, her answer to this question is option A. Statement 1 and 2 are correct. Question number 9. With reference to ocean mean temperature, which of the following statement is or are correct? Statement number 1. Ocean mean temperature is measured up to a depth of 26 degree isotherm, which is 129 meters in the southwestern Indian Ocean during January to March. That is incorrect. Statement number 2. Ocean mean temperature collected during January to March can be used in assessing whether the amount of rainfall in monsoon will be less or more than a certain long-term mean. That is correct. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Here, answer to this question is option B. Statement 2 only is correct. Ocean mean temperature, that is OMT, is measured up to a depth of 26 degrees isotherm. It is measured with the help of satellites that orbit the Earth. In the Indian Ocean, OMT is analyzed by measuring the ocean thermal energy during the period from January to March. The depth for the 26 degree isotherm is 50 to 100 meters, not 199 meters. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Scientists from Pune Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology find that ocean mean temperature has better ability to predict Indian summer monsoon than sea surface temperature. Hence, statement 2 is correct. So, her answer to this question is option B. Statement 2 only is correct. Question number 10. With reference to chemical fertilizers in India, consider the following statements. Statement number 1. At present, the retail price of chemical fertilizers is market driven and not administered by the government. That is incorrect. Statement number 2. Ammonia, which is an input of urea, is produced from natural gas. That is correct. Statement number 3. Sulfur, which is a raw material for phosphoric acid fertilizer, is a byproduct of oil refineries. That is correct. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The answer to this question is option B. Statement 2 and 3 are correct. The government pays a subsidy to fertilizer producers to make this critical ingredient in agriculture affordable to farmers. This allows farmers to buy fertilizers at below market rates. Hence, statement 1 is incorrect. Ammonia has been synthesized from natural gas. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Sulfur is a major byproduct of oil refining and gas processing. Hence, statement 3 is correct. So, her answer to this question is option D. Statement 2 and 3 are correct. Question number 11. In the context of India, which one of the following is the characteristic appropriate for bureaucracy? Options are an agency for widening the scope of parliamentary democracy, an agency for strengthening the structure of federalism, an agency for facilitating political stability and economic growth, an agency for implementation of public policy. So, her answer to this question is option D, an agency for implementation of public policy. Role of bureaucracy. It is the responsibility of the bureaucracy to carry out and implement the policies of government. Good policies and laws can really serve their objectives, only when these are efficiently implemented by civil servants. So, the answer to this question is option D. Question number 12. The preamble to the Constitution of India is, options are a part of the Constitution but has no legal effect. Incorrect. Not part of Constitution but has no legal effect either. That is incorrect. A part of the Constitution and has the same legal effect as any other part. That is incorrect. A part of the Constitution but has no legal effect independently of other parts. That is correct. So, her answer to this question is option D. A part of the Constitution but has no legal effect independently of other parts. Preamble is the integral part of Constitution, but it is not directly enforceable in a court of justice in India. That is, the preamble is not the supreme power or source of any restriction or prohibition, but it plays an important role in the interpretation of status and provisions of Constitution. So, it can be concluded that preamble is part of the introductory part of the Constitution. So, her answer to this question is option D. Question number 13. With reference to the provisions contained in Part 4 of the Constitution of India, which of the following statement is or are correct? Statements are, they shall be enforceable by courts. That is incorrect. They shall not be enforceable by any court. That is correct. The principles laid down in this part are to influence the making of laws by the state. That is correct. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Here, answer to this question is option D. Statement 2 and 3 are correct. Part 4 of the Constitution deals with DPSP. The provisions contained in this part cannot be enforced by any court. Hence, statement 2 is correct and 1 is incorrect. DPSP is fundamental in the governance of the country and it shall be the duty of the state to apply these principles in making laws. The principles laid down in this part are to influence the making of laws by the state. Hence, statement 3 is correct. So, her answer to this question is option D. Statement 2 and 3 are correct. Question number 14. Under the Kisan Credit Card Scheme, short-term credit support is given to farmers for which of the following purposes? Options are working capital for maintenance of farm assets. That is correct. Purchase of combine harvesters, tractors and mini trucks. That is incorrect. Consumption requirements of farm households. That is correct. Post-harvest expenses. That is correct. Construction of family house and setting up of village cold storage facility. That is incorrect. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Here, answer to this question is option B. Statement 1, 3 and 4 are correct. The scheme was introduced for providing adequate and timely credit support from the banking system under a single window with a flexible and simplified procedure to the farmers for their cultivation and other needs like purchases of agriculture inputs such as seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, etc. and draw cash for their production needs. Objective of Kisan Credit Card are to meet the short-term credit requirements for cultivation of crops, post-harvest expenses, produce marketing loan, consumption requirements of farmer households, working capital for maintenance of farm assets and activities, investment credit requirement for agriculture and allied activities. So, her answer to this question is option B. Statement 1, 3 and 4 are correct. Question number 15. Which one of the following factors or policies affecting the price of rice? Options are minimum support price, government trading, government stockpiling, consumer subsidies. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Here answer to this question is option D. Statement 1, 2, 3 and 4 are correct. The government's trading and MSP of rice results in diversion of stocks from the open market, hence driving up the price for ultimate consumers. Hence statement 1 and 2 are correct. In the government stockpiling, low stock level has the ability to buffer the price rise. Hence statement 3 is correct. Consumer subsidies lowers the prices for the ultimate consumers. Hence statement 4 is correct. Apart from this, climatic conditions, rice tenders by Food Corporation of India and other organizations, global tenders for procurements of rice, appreciation or depreciation of US dollar and Indian rupees, crude oil prices, all these factors will also affect the price of rice. So here answer to this question is option D. All the statements are correct. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. We will continue with the next result tomorrow.